Welcome, everyone.
What would you do if you had my life? Work like me, had them stripes. Would you go hard just to have that ice? But I'm just still trying to have that price. Any yo cooking about to add that spice. Nowadays dudes never had that fight. When it push bill, better burst your pipes. What would you do if you had my life? Work like me, had them stripes. Would you go hard just to have that ice? But I'm just still trying to have that price. Any yo cooking about to add that spice. Nowadays dudes never had that fight. When it push bill, better burst your pipes.
The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Brocco. Hey, make sure you download the Brocco app and use that promo code SGPN for a free $5 and a deposit match up to $100. That's Brocco, promo code SGPN. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really Ralph, Villain Ralph, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. For those of you that have been sending me kind words of support during this Knicks series and whole playoff run overall, thank you. For those who have been sending me trolls and not kind words and saying bad things about the Knicks, I don't care. Yeah. But we're here to talk about WNBA, and we got to get to it because there are some games happening tonight. We'll give you a quick rundown of those games and what we like because people get mad when we miss a day and all that. But this is mainly about Friday in the WNBA. But we will do a quick three-game weave of the games happening on Thursday. Scott Studio Reichel is here. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing well. I hit a pretty big dog on the last episode. I'd hide him in over 14.5 points.
And let me just out loudly give you your flowers because I was very anti Natisha Heidemann last episode. And your dog hit. She had a great game, got 20 plus points.
Yeah, I had 14.5 at plus 250, and she took about 19 shots, which was exactly what I was hoping would happen. Of course, Seattle lost the game, which makes it even funnier. But the point is, I thought she'd go in the game and just start jacking up shots. She had 10 in the first quarter, and she got there. So 250, can't complain. Nice dog hit, and we'll keep it rolling.
Yep, absolutely. All right. We're not wasting any time. We're getting quickly to the action. But first, I got to remind you all that the playoffs are heating up. So make sure you're listening to the NBA Gambling Podcast. And I think that's crazy if you're listening to like one of the NBA Gambling Podcasts or the WNBA Gambling Podcast and you're not listening to the other. You should be listening to both. So NBA Gambling Podcast and a Hockey Gambling Podcast. If you didn't know, NHL playoffs are going on right now. So make sure you go check those podcasts out wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Whoa. Appreciate the super chat, Helms. Appreciate you. We appreciate you more. We really do. All right. What we got here? First game on the docket for Thursday, and it's our Liberty, Scott, going toe-to-toe with the Golden State Valkyries, my Golden State Valkyries. We're playing this game in New York. Valkyries are catching 7.5 on the road. 170.5 is the total in that game. Injury report for these two teams. And let's see if we got update on Sabrina Ionescu, who was and currently still is a game time decision. Same thing for Satu Sabali. So they could be making their debuts tonight, potentially not. But Najalani Hamilton is out for personal reasons. She's not with the team. Zen Lassini is out with a concussion for my Valkyries. And yeah. So, okay, so the Liberty came back and avenged the fire loss.
Mm-hmm. That was a
We
bit of a game though for about a half, and then eventually they realized they are just better than the Fire and they blew them out. But the game was close for a bit.
Yeah, it was. Really not sure what to make of the Liberty right now. I think it's just kind of that Liberty thing of like they have to be a complete team for them to be dominant. You remember earlier in the season last year where they were dominant for that stretch, and then it was like, oh, Jonquel injury, Stewie injury, like all these Sabrina, like all these other little injuries start popping up, and then you're like, oh, the Liberty look kind of funny in the light. And then, like, towards the end of the season, they got really healthy again, and then they were dominant again. And it's like, Liberty just got to have all their pieces to be like that Liberty team. But I mean, I think it's no question that I'm wrong. I love the Liberty. I really do. That is my actual favorite WNBA team. But my Valkyries, it's hard to bet against my Valkyries, to be honest. And they're coming off of a loss.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's too many points. We'll see if once again Sabrina and Sato are going to play. If they do, will they look sharp in the first game of the season? Probably not. I imagine there's going to be rust involved. But the Liberty have a new coach. They're working out some stuff. And so far this season, they have been quite up and down. So I trust the Valkyries' defense to look pretty good. We know Hamilton's a big player on this team. And the fact that she's out, I think, is a big deal for the Liberty. I understand maybe at full strength, the Liberty might blow the Valkyries out at some point this season. But within the first couple of weeks of the season, when they've looked pretty underwhelming up to this point, it feels like too many points. We don't even know for certain if Sabrina and Sato are playing. So this line, I think, is a little bit rich. I'll go Valkyries to hang in there. I'll go Valkyries plus 7.5.
All right, 170.5 is total in that one.
I'll go on, I guess, under, but like I'm probably not going to play the total. There's too much injury question. There's too many injury question marks right now.
I want to say under, but the Valkyries shot 29% in that last game against the Sky that they lost. Like, I have to think that the Valkyries are going to have a much better offensive effort. Like, yeah, I'm sure under. All right, whatever. But I'm questionable.
Sure.
Well, not good on total. All right, Toronto on the road going to play the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx laying 6.5 in this game at home. 172.5 is the total in that one, Scott. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Toronto Tempo, it looks like Nayar Sabali is out. Isabel Harrison's out. Temi Fagbile out. Julie Alleman out. Lynx, Dorka Yuha still out. And we know Collier.
Yep.
Okay, so Toronto's got 3 wins.
Yep.
The Lynx just took a loss to the Sky, but like, I don't really feel the type of way about that.
Well, to be clear, with no Diggins and with Rakia getting injured immediately. So it was not exactly a full strength team, but yeah, it was still a good.
I mean,
it was still a loss, nonetheless.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it is kind of like a kind of bad loss to take at home. But like, I don't know. I'm still kind of 50-50 about that. So what is Toronto? So are we is it just, okay, if Marina Mabry and Sabrina Sykes have a good game, then
Brittany Sykes.
No, what did I say?
You said Sabrina.
Whoa, my fault. Slim. My bad, Slim. Brittany Sykes, and so it's either Brittany Sykes and Marina Mabry have a good game and they win,
or they get blown out by 50. They're doing everything on offense for this team. It's mostly
like there's nothing else.
Lately.
It's not. We know both of them to have those days where they just can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yep.
And so that's kind of sucks that like that's who this team is. Like, all right, if those two have a good game, then we're in it. Like literally nobody else did anything else in that game against the Mercury. Mabry had 30 on 11 for 23 as 6 threes. Sykes had 31 on 10 for 19 and 4 threes. like, I guess that's just how you handicap them. So in this game, I mean, Marina Mabrey, I could see her just like having a horrible game after dropping 30. Sykes could probably keep that up. But Marina Mabrey, I could see having a horrible game after dropping 30.
Yeah, it's mainly been Sykes, just looking at the actual game. So if you think Minnesota has a good game plan for these two players, then you're probably in a good shape to
No
cover
way
this.
Cheryl just lets them go off.
That's kind of my point. I have to imagine that they're going to come up with a pretty good game plan to stop at least one of them. I'll go Minnesota. Toronto, I did pick as my dark horse team to make the playoffs. And of course, I mentioned the Sandy Coach of the Year angle, but I do think there are some obvious limitations on this roster. And you mentioned that Naira's out for this game.
Yep.
So that's going to really hurt them. So at least on the interiors, they might get killed in the glass in this game. Yeah, I'll go with Minnesota. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Minnesota eventually just scores enough points to win by like 10. So I'll go with the Lynx.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go Lynx too. It feels very chalky though, but I mean, so what? All right, Natasha. So Natasha, I mean, it's Natasha Howard and Nia Coffey. Like, Minnesota's not really. They don't have their bigs. Like, their best rebounders. Natasha Howard probably has a really good rebounding day for those. Well, remember that for Underdog, Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's go. Let's go Minnesota. They bounce back after their loss. Cover against the tempo. Yeah, it's 250-50 with the fact of it's really just two players that's carrying the entire team. Cheryl Reeve has to have a plan for that. Like, there's no way that she just doesn't realize, oh, if we stop, one or both of these players, we win. What's the total? 172.5? I'm
not sure if Toronto's going to score, but I think Minnesota can score. So I might consider a Toronto team total under. I mean, if you're picking one of the, if you're picking one, if not both of the two stars of the team to have a bad game, I still don't see enough from the supporting cast to tell me, oh yeah, Toronto can still score 80 when one of them has a bad game. So I don't mind going for a Toronto team total under.
Or a Minnesota team total over. I think that's how you split it.
Yeah, we think this game might turn into a bit of a rout.
Yeah, I can't see it getting ugly. Cheryl, I'll be very disappointed if you let Toronto come in here and get a win. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I'll be very disappointed in that. I feel like you should be able to handle this Toronto team and be able to handle them by more than 2 possessions. I'd be very disappointed, actually. I might have to remember this bet later. All right. Before we get to the last game on the Thursday slate, got to talk to the people about Brocco. Tons of great ways to get in on the action with Brocco. They got you covered for all the major sports, offering over 100,000 sports markets a month, and they're available in a ton of different states. And Wednesdays are for blackjack. Play blackjack on Wednesdays. Get 50% of your losses back. Get a free $5 and a purchase match up to $100 at Brocco using promo code SGPN. Brocco, BRACCO, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Kalshi. Real money prediction market, legal in a ton of different states. And they got a whole bunch of different trading options for your favorite sports. NBA, WNBA, MLB, NHL. Go trade it over there at Kalshi. New Kalshi customers get $10 when they use that promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, KALSHI, promo code SGPN. All right, let's close out the Thursday slate here. Los Angeles Sparks are on the road going to play the Phoenix Mercury. Mercury are laying 2.5 at home. 177.5 is the total. Injury report, and we have Sanaya Fagan out for the Sparks. That's it. Monica Cole-McConney still out for the Mercury, and Sammy Wickham still out for the Mercury. Okay, so Scott, both of these two teams have been underwhelming to start the season. Well, Sparks have been about as whelming as I thought they would be. But for the most part, very underwhelming start to the season for the Sparks, as well as the Mercury, who lost to the Tempo on their home court. I mean, for one, no defense is being played right now between either one of these two teams.
And we expected that from LA going in. Once they kind of just relegated Brink to barely playing, I think we knew the defense was going to be a mess from this team. Mercury could argue should be better defensively, but they've also been pretty
ugly. No, that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, that Mercury literally played a great game against the Aces and then just stopped playing defense against everybody. I mean, everybody. Like, the Mercury's defense actually looks atrocious when you look at it like on TV, and you're like, wow, like they're just not doing anything right, and they're not getting any type of stops. Like, that's the thing with the Mercury that makes me uncomfortable about laying any type of number with them at this point. It's the fact of I don't trust them to be able to get stops when I need them to get stops. And I mean, these totals are really insane. Valkyries, 95 points, 88 points to the Minnesota Lynx at home, 83 points to Chicago Sky in a win, 98 to the Toronto Tempo at home. Like, what are we talking about here? Seriously, like, what are we talking about here? In their 3 home games, they're giving up basically 90 points per game. The Mercury's defense has been horrible, and I know the Sparks defense could be horrible. So, like, just a lot of points, and I don't know, flip a coin, that person wins.
Yeah, so I think we agree on the over in this game. For the actual side, I'll go with Phoenix in this game. The Sparks, I would say defensively have been worse than the Mercury, which is saying a lot because, as we said before, Phoenix's defense has been quite bad.
Yep.
But they gave up 90-plus points in back-to-back games with Toronto. I understand if you're going to let Sykes and company go off for one game because, first time seeing them and you don't really know what to do. But then you play them again a couple days later and you give up even more points you did in game one.
And lose?
You give up 100 points at home?
Textbook deja vu game, by the way.
Yeah, but at the same point, though, you have to wonder, after watching Sykes go crazy in the first game, you figure, okay, they're going to come up with a game plan to stop Sykes. And then she drops 30-plus points. And you're kind of just wondering, like, what have you been working on for defense for this entire time? Like, I have a serious question about the coaching staff for LA because right now the defense isn't even actually doing anything. It feels like there's no game plan. They're kind of just running around. The offense still relies a lot on Plum. I do think the front court could once again be a bit more impactful. I think that they have some talent there, but it feels like they're not really gelling properly as far as I'm concerned. I'm going with the over, but I'm going to go with Phoenix. I think at home they'll look pretty sharp, but I trust AT being the best player on the court to get some wide open looks for teammates. Could be a triple-double game. That could be an option here too. So I'll go with Phoenix, but I like the over.
Yeah. I guess I'll go Phoenix too, but I mean, defensively, I have serious questions about what they got going on right now. And honestly, they just need better players. They need to develop their players and get better.
At least that's the excuse. Like, LA has talent.
Yeah. LA has no excuse, and that's why I can't bring myself to bet the Sparks again right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we're both on Phoenix. I figured we would all be on the same.
I mean, we hated the Sparks preseason, so I'm not going to suddenly change my mind now because they're 1-3.
Should we give a best bet out for this? Because I don't want to make the locker dog in these 3 games because people are probably going to get this for the.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it works. Unless you want to do a lock for both days, and we'll just do
okay. So let's do a lock. Okay, let's just do a lock real quick for day 1. Lock right now. And this will also be for the people that actually listen to the show. So yeah, quick lock. Valkyries plus 7.5. Yeah, I'm not even going to question that.
All right, for me, I'm going to go with the over in the Mercury game at 177.5. I just don't see any defense being played.
Yeah, I trust the Valkyries. Hey, make sure you play that Valkyries first stat, by the way. I haven't been talking about it, but you should be playing it. What's that? It's at it's at plus 4.5 now. Oh, I'm getting ready. I'm getting a low battery. Where's my battery charger? All right, let's get into the Friday slate. This is probably what everybody is here to hear. Dallas on the road, going to play the Atlanta Dream. Wings are catching 5.5 in Atlanta. 172.5 is the total. Let's see in injury report. There we go. All right, for these 2 teams, we have Bree Jones still out. Ryan Howard is questionable with that concussion. If she's getting out of the protocol, able to play, all of that. So yeah. I mean, Dallas is about. mm,
They're better than I thought they were going to be.
Maybe slightly better. Maybe slightly, but I'm not all the way sold in this dream. I'm really not. And maybe dream. And also if they are a 500 team, then they're literally on pace for about what they're doing now. So like I'm not all the way sold on Dallas. I think they could bottom out. There's still a chance of them bottoming out. But like they've been playing okay basketball. The Atlanta Dream, when I watch them play, I literally think this is literally a playoff team. This is a playoff team. The comeback that they had against the Wings in the first game on the road, and Dallas getting out to the lead, them doing what they do in the second half and going and having a good second half and closing that team out. The game against the Aces came down to Chelsea Gray. Like they're like for what we say the Aces are, they're right there with them. And I truly think that you put them up against the Aces, I think they're winning some games and they're going to make it a series. So like, I don't think we should be talking about anything. I think this should probably be clear cut. Atlanta's going to come out here and beat up on this Wings team, even though they just recently played. They'll probably do the same thing that they do in every single one of their games, which is, oh, we are not going to figure this out in the first half. We're actually going to suck for the first half. But when we come out of halftime, we're going to be ready to play ball. And that's the only concern about laying the 5.5, because if Atlanta is coming back and playing from behind, they could be like win by 2, win by 3. Like that's concerning. But like, I just think this Atlanta team is way better than this Dreams team. So I'm going to lay the 5.5 points anyway.
Yeah, I can understand your angle there. I mean, Atlanta's looked pretty good so far. It was a heartbreaking loss to the Aces where they were getting killed. So props to them for not rolling over. Like that turned into a serious game at the end. I'm going Dallas first half. It's been working almost every game at this point. You brought it up, and it worked in the first meeting. Mm-hmm. Atlanta did come back and win the game. So if you want to go for halftime, full-time, you could probably get a good price there. But I do have questions with the Howard injury because we know how impactful she can be. Yes, I know that Gray can step up and Reese could have a monster game, but still, you are losing a big piece in terms of floor spacing because Howard's one of their best three-point shooters on the entire roster. So based on that, I can see Atlanta getting off to a slow start in this game. And we've seen them get off to slow starts all season.
Yeah, you got to take the Wings in the first half.
And Dallas has been great in the first half. So I'll go with Dallas first half. For the full game, I'm kind of going to ignore it. But
play the same angle. I cashed the plus 550 on it last game. You play the same angle here. Wings first half money line, Dream money line for the game. I like it. It just seems obvious, like at this point, like it's gonna be the same script as it was last game. It's just this time the Dream could potentially blow them out in the second half because they're at home, and that's the thing that where I'm like, okay, I feel fine laying 5.5 points because even if they're down in the first half, they could blow them out in the second half and not even make it a game.
Yeah, it could
especially because Dallas's defense isn't that good, and they don't have I don't think that they have the rebounders to even attempt to slow down injuries and some of these players on the Atlanta Dream squad side. Like, I just think they're going to control the glass. I think that everything top down, defensively, offensively, I think is better on the Dream side of the ball.
Yeah, I do like the scoring depth, though, from the Wings. Fudd had a good game last time out. Good to see. I do think, though, every year we find a different team to kind of back in the first half. It was the Valkyries last year, it was the Mystics a couple years ago. So far, it's been Dallas. So I'm going to keep riding with it until it loses. I'll give me Dallas first half, which I think is still undefeated so far this season.
No, they just lost it to the.
Oh, they did. Okay, my bad.
They just lost it to the Sky, but they were laying points in that one. This is a dog.
Yeah, point is they've been very good so far in the first half. I'll give it a test drive. I'll see how it goes.
Yep. Somebody find that number for the Dream, the Wings first half, Dream second half.
I might be able to find that right now.
I know it's got to be something good. Maybe plus 500.
So looking at it right now, you can find. Actually, I don't see it listed. Sorry.
Okay.
It'll be posted at some point.
All right. Probably. Oh yeah. This is also Friday.
What did you get last time on it? Like 450, like 420?
It was plus 550 last time.
550. Okay.
And it might still be plus 550, but I was thinking like that was Dream on the road, so it might be a little bit shorter if they're at home.
Yep.
Terrell wants to be a kickboxer. DD down.
Is that true? Do you want to be kickboxer?
No, I've never thought about it. But I mean, I wouldn't mind it if
I watch UFC, so that's
I
my connection to it.
I don't think I would be a kickboxer. I don't want to get hit. Why? I don't want to get hit.
Yeah, me too.
I want to do the hitting. All right. Pause. Valkyries are playing a back-to-back. Oh, wow. All right. No concern. All right. Second leg of a back-to-back for the Valkyries here on the road playing the Indiana Fever. This is travel from New York to Indiana. Fever laying 5.5. No, I'm sorry. Fever laying 7.5. 168.5 is the total. Well, clearly I'm not going to have an injury report for you for the Valkyries or what they've got going on. Caitlin Clark's so where's the quick breaking news drop here? Because okay, so they ruled Caitlin Clark out like shortly prior to the game against the Storm.
No, the game against the Fire.
Fire. Yes, shortly before the game against the Fire. And it was weird because like there was nothing on the injury report about it, and it was the back injury, and then they said they were going to do this. A report, let me say that a report came out that they're going to do this over the course of the season, and this is some type of management for her. And then now the WNBA is looking at them like, okay, you didn't do this correctly in the terms of how you're supposed to report it, and there could be sanctions and all of that. And so now it's like, so is she going to play tonight or tomorrow night? Like, what's going to happen with that? We'll probably get, more known about it tomorrow. But like, so is it an issue that's going on right now, or is it precaution? That's what I think. Because normally when it's just injury management, it's like rest or injury management or something like that. This says back, which we haven't heard about.
Well, I do want to point out, it was mentioned by Helms that Ryan Howard did practice today. So she's off the injury report, or at least it seems like she's going to play. I'm still going with the Wings first half, so my angle's not going to change. But full game, that definitely helps out Atlanta. But thank you for pointing that out to me, Helms. Yeah, the Fever, look, we had the over, and that died before the game even started because we needed Caitlin to play. They killed the Fire without her. We saw last year they've looked really good even when she doesn't play. They did win a round after all, beating Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you, though. The fact that they listed a specific injury for maintenance or management, first of all, we're only like a couple weeks into the season. So the fact that you've already come up with a plan to manage means her back is seriously messed up, right? I mean, that's the only takeaway you can have here, because if you were going to sit her for one random game, sure, you're only like 2 weeks into the season, but I guess, she got injured last year. You want to keep her healthy. But now you're talking about how you've come up with a full plan of like course of action on what to do. That's not something that's going to heal quickly. Like, that sounds like her back has problems and she is going to be constantly having concerns about it all season because there's already an alleged plan in place and we're still in May. Like, we still have 40 games to go, give or take. So, or like 30 plus games to go. So I agree with you. I think that's pretty concerning. I'm not saying it's like a 10 on the panic meter, but I got it at like a 6 or a 7. I think if they just said rest, it'd be at like a 2. But the fact that her back's already bothering her and we still have 30 plus games to go and she missed the bulk of last year, I think is problematic. So I got it at like a 6 or a 7 on the panic meter. You? It seems like they're underselling. It sounds like they're really underselling how bad the back might be. Doesn't it sound that way?
I think I think that they said we are managing this injury issue over the course of the season just to like as rest for. I think they are masking that as this is a bigger. This is something. This is not nothing. If you tell me if somebody were to tell me it's nothing, I would be like, okay, now you're bullshitting me. Like this is clearly something. I don't know what level of a thing it is, but it's something. So like. Nah.
I think she's. I don't know if she's going to play in this game. I would argue she's probably not. They won without her by about 20, which she missed most of last season. She's the face of the franchise, but the fact is, if the team looks good when she doesn't play, you don't have to force her back. So based on that, I think there's probably some value on. I think assuming that she's not going to play, banking on Boston or Mitchell props, but. It is a back-to-back. They're going from New York to Indiana, so a bit of travel there for the Valkyries. But what do you think? Because I don't mind the Fever, but the caveat is I don't think Caitlin's going to play. So do you want to argue for an under? Because you think the total is going to plummet if Caitlin gets ruled out? Like, you can go for some CLV on that.
Well, I would take the Valkyries regardless.
I don't really want to take teams on back-to-backs, but I understand your point.
No, I think they'll be fine. And honestly, Indiana with Clark, because now what if she goes out there and she doesn't look healthy? Like now you're forcing it. Like you could also be forcing it, and that could tank. I think she's gonna. I think she's gonna go out there. She's gonna play. She's not gonna look good.
Okay, I think she's gonna sit. So either way, we're picking Caitlin to not be that impactful. If
Yeah.
Caitlin plays in the game, you could argue that once again it might help out the Valkyries because if she's
That's why I'm taking the points.
Yeah,
that is my angle. Yep. All right. 168.5 is total. No. Indiana team total under.
I don't really have anything because I don't know if Caitlin's going to play. We saw in the last game her absence or presence impacts the total so dramatically that I really can't play this the day before. So I'm kind of just stuck. So I'm going to wait it out for Caitlin. But if Caitlin's out, I'll go under. If she's in, I'll take over.
No, because if she's in, I'm telling you, it might not look good. So yeah.
Sorry, if she's in, then maybe Valkyrie's team total over.
Mm.
That's an option.
Go right at her. All right. Oh my gosh. Like this is going to be quick because I know this is going to be quick because I just can't believe they crowbarred 3 of these games into the first 6-7 games of the season, whatever.
I kind of like it though. You get all of these really bad matchups out of the way in the first 3 weeks. You never have to worry about it again. I kind of like it.
It's horrible.
I love this matchup. How else is she going to get to 15 points? I got a 250 on this matchup last time. I love these matchups. I hope to never see these teams play each other again. But we're getting it out of the way early, which I kind of like.
The rubber match between the Connecticut Sun and the Seattle Storm, and it's also like they're on 2 different sides, like of the continental United States. Like, why are they playing 3 games like this? So, whatever. All right, this is the rubber match. Seattle's laying 2.5 at home. 166.5 is the total. Seattle did win the first matchup. What was it? 89-82 in Connecticut. Then Connecticut went to Seattle and won 80-78 in the last game, +2.5 as a +2.5 dog. Now here's Seattle yet again. Injury report, and we have for these 2 teams in this game, I think Brittany Griner is currently questionable, has been out with a rib injury, but we'll see if this is the return or if this is another out. Dom Malonga's fighting a concussion. She's trying to work her way back. We'll see if she ends up practicing and playing.
It is a deja vu game.
So, I mean, I guess we're supposed to take Seattle, but, like, I can't believe that they just played these 3 games like this. And, like, honestly, neither one of these 2 teams are, like, mean anything. But I guess it's just ultimately going to depend on, like, well, what is Dom Malonga going to play? Is Brittany Griner going to play?
Yeah, and for reference, Malonga did not play in the loss. So you can infer if she does end up playing, the Storm are in a better spot. But
I mean, she really wasn't even impactful in the first game because she was in foul trouble the whole game.
Yeah, but we know that, once again, if she ends up having herself a solid overall matchup and she does end up playing, it's a concussion, though, which can be very tricky to deal with. But if she ends up playing and she plays well, there's no answer for Connecticut for her. So concussions, though, are very tricky to deal with because you always have to worry about the symptoms.
I feel like if Ryan Howard is working her way back, then I feel like Dom Malonga should be close as well. Let's see if we can find somebody.
I know concussions are always like a tricky case-by-case study, so we'll see what happens. But I think I'll go with Seattle, but I'm not betting this. If Malonga plays, I'll probably take Seattle. But without knowing for certain, I'll still go deja vu principles. I mean, Connecticut still barely won in that game. Like, that game was close down to the wire, and Connecticut kind of stole it at the end. But I'll go with Seattle.
All right.
Deja vu.
I'll go Connecticut just because I don't want to agree on this game. I would prefer us be split because it is a toilet bowl game as well. And like the thought of laying 2.5 points with Seattle is just nauseating. I'll take Connecticut plus 2.5, and I'll just make a split. Sorry, gang. All right. 166.5. I mean,
What'd the last game do again? Last game ended up going under, so I guess we're going over. Right? Deja vu?
yeah. Malonga could play. Griner. Like, there's a world where Malonga and Griner both play. And if they both play, then, like, the scoring definitely should go up. Sure. Over 166.5. Yeah, all right. Very glad. And I'm pretty sure we're not talking about this game again for the rest of the season. So, very glad we got that out the way, actually. You're right, Scott. All right, Underdog. What do we want to build? We should just make it Friday, right?
Yeah, because by the time people see this, I'm assuming a couple games are going to be starting already.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, the problem with that is trying to figure out what is actually listed on Underdog for Friday. I mean, I'll put it this way. If something's not listed, we could always do a parlay, but I'll see if they have anything.
Well,
I only
Underdog.
see two games. I see the Wings
Underdog.
game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say you see what?
I was going to say, I see the Wings game and the Fever game. Those are the only two games I see on Friday. Because the Valkyries, of course, are listed solely because they're playing Indiana. But I don't see anything for the Sun and Storm. So we have two games to choose from.
No, and then it's only the major players. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to buy some stock into Janelle Salon going up against that Fever defense. Remember that play, people. Janelle Salon has had an amazing start to the season coming off the bench for them, and the Fever can't do anything right defensively. She's 100% cooking them. 100%.
Do we want Boston at 15.5? She had 24 last game.
Or do we say she just has a good rebound game because her rebounds are at 7.5 going up against the Valkyries? Like,
yeah, she only had 8 last game. She's only gone over this number one time this entire season. We know Boston isn't as good of a rebounder as she should be.
But it's Kayla Thornton and Kayla Thornton. Like, who else is the size for the Valkyries that's like gonna stop Aaliyah Boston from getting rebounds? Let me see.
Yeah, we can go for
No.
PR. You want to do a combo?
Like Kia Stokes, like no.
You want to go for a combo?
PR on Aaliyah
Yep.
Boston. What's is that 23.5? Any problems there? Or double for Aaliyah Boston?
Once again, I
User
feel a
set.
little bit sketchy about the rebounds.
the rebounds.
but the
Okay, all
points
right.
can be pretty solid.
All right, we'll just go points and rebounds.
I mean, PR's at 23.5. Like, that's a pretty low number.
All right, we got it. PR 23.5 higher.
Yeah, we wanted Howard rebounds, but that's just not listed. I don't see Natasha being listed at all, so we can't even take it, which is a bummer.
Yeah. Let me see. So we can do Reese is at 13.5. I mean, on the rebounds.
She had 16 in the first meeting this season. We probably have to take that, don't we?
And there we go. So that's 2. And then Paige, I really don't even want to take Paige's points.
I was going to say, we can go for a page lower if you think that Atlanta's defense actually does a good job. It's at 18.5. She has gone under this number in, I believe, 4 of the last 5 meetings. She had 15 in the first meeting of the season. We can go for a pretty degen sweat on Becker's under 18.5 points.
Becker's or... Oh, you don't think Caitlin's going to play? I can't talk you into
That's
that.
the problem, is that if she ends up not playing, then we just get a voided leg, and it's kind of a waste. You want to go for the Becker's fed?
Yeah.
Once again, she doesn't shoot the ball
I don't
enough.
feel great about it.
She picks her spots, but I wish she was more aggressive because she's really good at basketball.
But
she lets the game come to her.
You gave us the Heidemann play last time. I will trust you on the Becker's play. I will admit that it makes me nervous though.
Okay.
All right. Angel Reese, higher, 13.5 rebounds. Paige Beckers, lower, 18.5 points. Aaliyah Boston, higher, 23.5 points, rebounds. Ooh, 6.82x. $100 gets you $682 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code at NBA SGPN. Play $5, get $50 in bonus funds. Again, that's NBA SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm, who has been absolutely crushing the WNBA with their smart signal player props. You got to go check them out and lock in with them on Rhythm. Let's see what they have going. They got a few options going for today. But tomorrow, we talked about the rebounds in that Wings game, but they like Alicia Gray to go over 5.5 rebounds at plus 132, Scott. They project her for 6.4 rebounds in that game against the Wings. Make sure you go lock in with Rhythm right now. Lock in on their models. Lock in. Hey, build your own model. Also, use that promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use that promo code SGPN25. And there we are. We've reached the end of the road. Lock, dog. Close things out here. Lock for the Friday games. I will lock up. Kind of just want to do. I kind of do. 5.5 is really not that much. Like, even if Atlanta plays around in the first half and they have to mount a comeback in the second half, they should still cover 5.5. Like, I just think they're that much clear and better away than the Dallas Wings. Dallas Wings at best are a 500 team. The Atlanta Dream just went toe to toe with the defending champions, who we think are the best team in the league right now, and almost beat them. Like, almost had a huge comeback to beat them. So, like, yeah, I will take Dream laying 5.5 for my lock. Dog. You know what? Valkyries get the win. All right. Plus 250. Second leg of back to back. They lose a close game to the Liberty. Win outright against the Fever.
Okay.
I really think that the Valkyries will be able to score. Like, as I think about it more, just how bad defensively they are and how sound the Valkyries can be and how much they're going to want to look at offense these next two games because they shot 29% their last game. I think the offense is about to really heat up, especially against Indiana's horrible defense.
I'm trying to think of what I like, because this card is pretty disgusting, and we have no props listed for the Sun game, so we're kind of limited there. Do I really want to just go all in on the Page fade, which is just an absolute hot take, but the number does feel pretty high to me. Do I think Jordan Canada has a solid game? I might be going prop based for this episode, but you know what? I think I'll just go back to what's worked so far. It worked out in game one between them this season. Give me Angel over the 13.5 rebounds at minus 104. We know that that's what she does. She had 16 in the first meeting. I don't know if Dallas has an answer for her on the glass. So I'll go for Angel over 13.5 rebounds at minus 104 as my lock for the show. For the dog, let me just see if there's any player props that I want to take, because once again, we are pretty limited for the Friday card. Do I think... No, I'm not going to go for Angel again. I don't know if there's really a lot to go with here. So I'm going to go with the Wings first half money line. They've been good in the first half so far this season. I think they could start off hot again. So I'll go with the Wings first half money line. I don't know if we have a price on that, though. Did you see a price on the first half money line by any chance?
Not yet. But I think somebody said BetMGM has one, or MGM, something like that. Has
okay,
one.
So let me just quickly check BetMGM, because I want to give an exact number, but they're going to be getting, what, like 3.5 in the first half? 3 in the first half?
Yeah, I think it could be 3.
So I wanted to see if that would actually meet the criteria that I'm looking for. It should be like 3.5. I don't know if I see it, though. That's kind of the problem. So either way, whatever the number is, I'll go with the Wings first half money line as my dog for the show.
All right. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Not really. Once again, fun episode. Of course, we took the time to go through the Thursday games as well. Yeah, nothing else to really add. By the way, if you wanted to go for the Wings and Dream halftime full-time, I see 480 on FanDuel. So that's an option, but I'll go Wings first half money line. But yeah, once again, fun episode. Back once again sometime this week.
All right. He's at Rush Radio. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA, youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. And hey, 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. And with that, that is it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do.